Our second special right triangle is the 30, 60, 90 triangle. So let's see what that looks like. We have three different angles. The right angle of 90 degrees, a smaller angle of 30 degrees, and a larger angle of 60 degrees. The right angle is, of course, as always, across from our hypotenuse. Then we have our smaller angle of 30 degrees, which is across from the shorter leg, and I'm going to abbreviate that SL for shorter leg. And then we have the 60-degree angle, which is across from the longer leg, which I will abbreviate with LL. So one thing you have to remember is that everything is based on the short leg. Everything is based on the short leg. We always have to go back to the short leg and find that one. Let's look at our formulas. If we are given the short leg, and I'm going to leave some room for some more formulas that are to come. If we're given the short leg, then our formulas are the hypotenuse is equal to the short leg times 2, and the long leg is equal to the short leg times the square root of 3. Now those numbers don't come out of thin air. Let's go back and look at our example from the beginning of this tutorial. And here in our triangle to the right, and that one is not drawn to scale, but this one has a short leg of 3, and our hypotenuse is 6, so it's twice as long as the short leg. So let's find our third side using the Pythagorean theorem. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. 6 squared, our hypotenuse is equal to 3 squared plus B squared. 36 is equal to 9 plus B squared. If we subtract 9 from both sides, we get 27 is equal to B squared. Now let's take the square root from both sides, and the 27, which is 9 times 3, we can take out the 9 from our radical, and we have 3 times the square root of 3. And so the 3, which is the length of our short leg, gets multiplied by the square root of 3 to give us the length of our long leg. So that's how these formulas are created. Let's go and practice with some examples. So in example number 7, we are given what looks like the shorter leg because it's across from the angle of 30 degrees. We need to find the other two sides. Across from our right angle is our hypotenuse, and across from our larger angle is our long leg. So using our formulas, the hypotenuse is equal to the short leg times 2. That means 14 times 2, or 28. And our long leg is equal to the short leg times the square root of 3, which is 14 square roots of 3. And that's it. We found our three sides. Okay, now go ahead and stop the video and try number 8 yourselves and compare your work with my answers. Hopefully you came up with the same answers. Our short leg is 4, and we can tell that by seeing that the missing angle up here is 30 degrees. That is the smaller angle. So our hypotenuse is the short leg times 2, which is 8. And our long leg is the short leg times the square root of 3, which is 4 square roots of 3. Sometimes, though, we are not given the short leg, and we have to then modify our formula to find what we are missing. In example number 9, we have been given the hypotenuse across from our right angle, right? So we need to look at our formulas and modify them accordingly so we can find the other two sides. So if we are given the hypotenuse, look at your formula, hypotenuse is equal to the short leg times 2, then the short leg, and remember, everything is based on the short leg. The short leg is equal to the hypotenuse divided by 2, and once we have the short leg, we can again go ahead and find our long leg, which is still equal to the short leg times 3. Coming back to our example, we will then first find our short leg, which is the hypotenuse divided by 2. 14 divided by 2 is equal to 7. The short leg is equal to 7 units. And now we can also find our long leg, which is the short leg times the square root of 3, which is equal to 7 square roots of 3. Our long leg is equal to 7 square roots of 3. Now stop the video again and try number 10 yourselves. And even though you see that radical in the length of the hypotenuse, don't fret, just use your formulas and it will work out just fine. Hopefully you came up with the same answers. The short leg is the hypotenuse divided by 2, so 6 square roots of 3 divided by 2. We can simplify that to get 3 square roots of 3, and that's the length of our short leg. In order to find our long leg, we take the short leg multiplied by the square root of 3, and we have 3 square roots of 3 multiplied by another square root of 3. The 2 square roots of 3 multiplied give us 3, and 3 times 3 is 9. That's our long leg. Excellent job, you guys. Now let's go and see what we do when we have a long leg given. Now in this example number 11, we have the long leg given. And again, let's look back and see what we have to do to our formulas to adjust them. If we are given the long leg first, then we have to find our short leg. And our short leg, remember, everything is based on the short leg. If the long leg is equal to the short leg times the square root of 3, then the short leg is of course equal to the long leg divided by the square root of 3. And now that we have the short leg, we will again find our hypotenuse by taking the short leg and multiplying it by 2. Back to example 11, we are going to do just that. We're going to find our short leg by taking 8 square roots of 3, dividing it by the square root of 3, and how nice, those 2 square roots of 3 cancel each other out, and we're left with 8 being the length of our short leg. And to find our hypotenuse now, we are going to take the short leg and multiply it by 2. 8 times 2 is equal to 16. And yet one more time, stop the video now, do number 12 yourselves, try it out, but I'm going to give you one tip: no radicals in the denominator. And here you go. The short leg is the long leg divided by the square root of 3, which gives us 15 divided by the square root of 3. But that we can't leave like that. So multiplying that fraction by the square root of 3 over the square root of 3, we get 15 square roots of 3 divided by 3. Now that we can simplify the 15 and the 3. 3 goes into 15 5 times. So we end up with 5 square roots of 3 for our short leg. And our hypotenuse is the short leg times 2, and that will give us 10 square roots of 3. Great job, you guys. All right, in your summary section, I want you to compare and contrast the formulas to find side lengths for the 45, 45, 90 triangles and for the 30, 60, 90 triangles, and to find a good memory trick in which formula to use the square root of 2 and in which the square root of 3. That's it for today, and I will see you in class.